Hello everyone, we're just going to speak about previous things. We did the Hammersdale Township Drive. We also did the Toyota Starlets review. Do check those videos out. We also did the vlog whereby I was traveling to Shanghai via a high-speed train. I also did something for Metriki regarding applications. Then I also reviewed a PlayStation 5 yami. And then I did the Empangeni CBD drive, which is one of the coolest towns. And namhlanje ngifuna ukuthi nje good day sanibonani njani. My name is Umpumelelo kaMshengu Shabalala Uchaku Tungalamavusu Mavusu Mhlophe official nakuba kuyena. So guys, on this video I am still in Empangeni, which is a town close to Richards Bay. So yeah, bafethu, this is a rural area called Mevamhlophe. This is whereby you go Mevamhlophe and then you pass go Ndlangubo uze ufike eShowe. So, and also this road I'm currently driving on iyakuthatha futhi ikise ko Melmoti, uyakwazi ukuphuma nangeGoli uhamba ngalo mgwaqo ngihamba ngawo. But then today I'm here guys, this is a part of the rural areas I want to show you guys that are very much developing very fast. Like, trust me and believe in Mangiti, about 5 years ago, there were very few houses here. About 7-10 years ago, there were no houses in this area. As you can see, Uti, behind this small Nyana mountain, there are actually properties being built. So these are just new developments that are currently happening. Is in Lapa in the beginning of actually showing these sites, they're extending the sites, they're gonna put more properties. The best thing if you buy the property, specifically where I'm driving right now, is that it's about 10 minutes drive to Empangeni CBD. Now just imagine living in a rural area close to town, whereby you're just gonna drive on the tar road that I'm currently driving on for 10 minutes, and you arrive Guma Shopping Center, you arrive in Model C schools, you arrive in proper settlements, you arrive basically to all the resources one would need mayezofuna ukuhlala ekhanda nomndeni and actually establish themselves in that environment. But then yeah, this is the land. As I was saying, Wuti, 7 years ago there were no houses right here. So as you can see, Wuti, most of the houses here are still being built and most are still practically new. How to actually get sites in such areas. You obviously have to go via Induna. Induna izobisiksetha ke isikhuluma noline wayo nenkosi. Inkosi yalana ke endaweni kuthiwa uChief Zungu. So he's the man responsible for all the land that you find in this area. As you can see, land ukuthi usakhona umhlaba, so maybe uzogcina usetshenzisiwe futhi for residential uses. But last I heard ukuthi this specific area by Shielana, it was supposed to do something. I'm not sure what is it, but it was specifically for the chief or something like that. But then yeah, that was just what I heard when I did my research regarding this area. So yeah, here Mevamhlophe, this is where you find abantu abafana no 3 seconds abaphuma kule ndawo lena bakhandela no Dr. 3 seconds ufike eMevamhlophe cishe less than 15 years ago, because I also grew up in this area, so I know this area like I know myself. This is where I used to play marbles. This is where I used to herd kettles as a child. So I do know Lindawo Yonke. And that blue house over there is Teslisa. That is the house car Dr. 3 seconds. But then yeah, as you can see, Uti, there are still some spaces whereby you can view our site and actually purchase our site here. When it comes to the cost of our site, it differs. Because in Nyazi, this is all about ancestral land. So when they're obviously not going to charge you as umuntu wangaphandle osuke ezofuna indawo kuloyo. So ama-site they vary on those differences. But then yeah, on the right hand side, it used to be mobile while growing up. On the right hand side, but yona ma-plus le indawo eka-right uzuyofika ngale. It's just agriculture and all those things. Where I am driving in right now, there used to be one house in this area. but now it's also filled with new homes. As you can see, these are practically new houses that have been deployed here and are being built. And as you can see, people are actually building mansions. You'd find these houses Goma suburbs. You can see how big this house is. So I'm just trying to show you guys and motivate you guys ukuthi maybe building in such areas is not such a bad idea. Mind you, Lana, for as far as I can remember, there has always been electricity. Nayo ke le ndlu le kwakuyindlu yokuqala eyafika la. I do know abafana balana ezabanye sasigibela nabo safunda ku primary, so this was the only house eyayilana, and I think there was a shop that was always down angazi futhi sawa nini. But when you learn about the history of this area, you get to know some of the stories among these areas ukuthi kwakwenzakalani isikhipani. But as you can see, land, it used to be trees back in the years, but now niyabona ukuthi sekuhlala abantu, there's new houses, and it's right next to the tar road. Njengoba ngishilo ukuthi it's gonna be about 10-15 minutes drive to Empangeni CBD. There is water in the area, there is electricity. Amanzi ayahlupha here and there because of load shedding and all those things. But then, to be very, very honest with you guys, I grew up in this area. As far as I can think of, amanzi, I think they were put in the area maybe around 2002, 2003. Before that, ngabo 1998, I remember there used to be specific areas where would go and collect amanzi. Kwakuthiwa iseyifokofokweni, kwakunendawo kwakuthiwa isemambeni. I think it was called emambeni, possibly because there had to be some snake that had to do with the area being called emambeni. But then you would find amanzi in that area whereby the community would just go and get the water from underground, emapitsini, and so on. And that was just like 1998. I was still a young boy. But by 2002, guys, there was electricity. And even now in 1998, there was electricity in this area. So big ups to maybe the ANC, to be honest, because yibo abafaka ugesi. And I grew up in a rural area whereby ayafetha ngilazi ikhandlela mina nje iqiniso lolo yabo. So ngiyengibona abanye inkosi yami amakhaya abo, they don't have things like electricity and so on, but this area was fortunate enough to have electricity in the early 1990s. So it was such a privilege. And also futhi kwathiwa noMandela wayifikela amathuba la wathi uzongikhandela izindlu nama-toilet mahalo abafakela ugesi. So he actually came to this area, and this area is also prominent for abantu abanjengosenzo Mchunu. When you read the history of this area, you'd find ukuthi indawo abazaziyo osenzo Mchunu lezi, indawo abehamba during the early 19s and so on. So this is just some of the political history of this site. Empangeni, when it comes to politics, it wasn't all sweets, roses, and so on. But then we have moved on, and as you can see, nama developments show abantu who are coming in this area are actually developed and have a developmental mentality towards the livelihoods of themselves and what they can do for themselves and their children and their community and for the future generations at large. Because if ngikwazi ukukhanda imize kanje within 5-10 years already uyabona ukuthi la sekuzovuka a semi-suburb, we could call it that way. With a few plannings here and there, this area can easily be in a form of an estate, be in a form of a suburb, because uyabona ukuthi at least there is planning when it comes to giving out ama-site. Uyabona ukuthi nemigwaqo iyavulwa in between just to make sure every house is able to access the road. The only thing kuzoba-ke indaba ye-sanitary and all those things, because when it comes to maybe running water, toilets, abantu basama imgodi and use that system instead of a proper sewage system. So that is the only thing eshoda kule ndawo. So if you want to buy property in this area, I would highly recommend you actually do look into it and actually come uzomakhelane wethu. Asiwafuni ngamaphara kule ndawo bafethu. Asibafuna amaphara, sifuna abantu aba-right abazokhandela abafuna impilo egrandi and actually go and work go Richards Bay, which is not too far, work in Empangeni CBD. As you can see, even nangaphesheya, there's still some land for agricultural purposes, so you can also maybe try and do that on the other side of the road because most of the land there is still vacant. Abantu abaney'nkomo bayiwelisa beyoyidlisa ngaliya and then come back zilale ngapha. But then in honesty, in 12 years time or 5 years time, I do not think you'll be in this area. So you need to have some sort of plan B when it comes to this area. And I understand because it's very close to town. People who are working in Kalagabusha prison, they come and buy houses here. People are working in municipal offices, in Richards Bay, they come and build their retirement homes. Even their homes they are living currently, they build them here because the cost of living is very cheap. Labor is very cheap. Even when it comes to building lezi zindlu, you don't need approvals from municipalities and all those things. So yeah, bafethu, this is Mevamhlophe. When it comes to imali yokuthola lama sites bafethu, angeke nje izidlule ku-100,000 to be fair with you guys. It will always be below that, and kusemakhaya la even 100,000 is a bit more. Singayibeka nje ko-70. Uma umuntu wangaphandle, uma umuntu wendawo ke bafethu, hayi niyazi ukuthi nina nithola ukhisimuzi into encane nje ukuthi iqhwiqhwi lokho okuncane ube right. So yeah bafethu, do remember to like, subscribe, comment down, ask any questions. I do not mind interviewing some of the people engibaziyo abakhandalana, and actually I can go approach them because I do know a lot of people and a lot of people do know me in this area. Bayamazi umfana wakamshengo wakhula lana esamncane. So yeah bafethu, and even some of the people building these